Well, the wide majority of votes have been counted now, and we see a clear advance of the Party for Action and Solidarity, which is a pro-European party of President Maia Sandu, which is leading way ahead of the patriotic bloc, which is still stagnating far behind in second place. So far, the votes have not been counted yet in the United States because of the time difference, and so to have the final 100% votes counted, we'll have to wait a few more hours still, probably until the early morning European time. But what the people in PAS have told me here at the headquarters is that this is in any case already a victory for the European camp, a victory against Russian interference attempts, against all the destabilization attempts that we've seen over the past months throughout the campaign and today as well. I spoke to the government spokesperson earlier today, and he said that this result clearly shows that Moldovans want to join the European Union and want to confirm their pro-European path.
Maria, leading into this vote, as you mentioned, there was a lot of undecided voters and there were a lot of unclear elements. In terms of how we are seeing things unfold, is this how things were expected? Was this 48, closing on 48%, pretty much the result that the PAS themselves were hoping for, or was this really just something we had no idea about?
I think there was genuine concern within the PAS and within the PAS voters about this Russian interference attempt, about all the Russian propaganda and how this would play out in this election. I also think that there is a part of the population that is genuinely attached to Russian culture, to Russian values, that identifies themselves still with their time spent in the Soviet Union. And it was very difficult to tell in advance how this how the results will look like, because polls were showing very different things and they're quite unreliable here. So it was very difficult to predict. I think it is a very positive surprise for those supporting the pro-European camp. But if we look closer at the numbers, they are more or less also representing what we've seen during the presidential election, and therefore, the surprise is more the fact that Russian interference wasn't able, despite all the money and all the month invested, to do more harm. At least that's what I've been understanding from people here in Chisinau.
Maria, just a quick question. As we alluded to earlier, you were in Romania during their elections where Gerth-Niculescu won that mandate, and that was on the back of a whole lot of social media interference, TikTok very much the driver of that, and he was effectively barred ultimately because of what the Romanians thought was unfair practice. In terms of this, have we seen anything similar? Have we seen any social media interference, Telegram, the likes of those channels? Or, as you mentioned, it hasn't really penetrated as far as they feared?
We've seen those attempts here in Moldova. TikTok was massively used, Facebook as well, by Kremlin-affiliated networks to orchestrate social media campaigns, propagating Russian ideas, propagating fake news and deep fakes about the European Union, about Maia Sandu, about the electoral process. So yes, we have seen those attempts here in Moldova as well. It's too early to say who from the voters of the Patriotic Bloc or other pro-Russian forces voted because of this social media interference. What we do know is that there was money invested into it, that the visibility of some candidates and of some narratives especially grew thanks to them. Maybe their dynamics are still different in Moldova if we compare it to Romania with regards to social media. Maybe The diaspora also made a big difference, being so pro-European, which is not the case in Romania. In Romania, the diaspora voted more in favor of the far right. So the dynamics are quite different here between Moldova and Romania, although they are neighboring countries, and although similar attempts were made, we're seeing that in Romania as well, in the end, with the new presidential vote, it didn't work out either.
Maria Gerth